We were talking about this situation in Fullerton at Pacific Drive Elementary School. It is just horrendous. Apparently, Pacific Drive Elementary School is next to a park where the homeless live. And some of them have been coming to use the bathrooms of the students. That's wrong. And apparently it's been going on for years.
Like, at least 6 years. And there's one girl...
There's nonsense about a fence and a partial fence.
There's one teenage girl who said when she was back in 4th grade, one of the guys grabbed her by the hand and started pulling her out to take her to who knows where and do who knows what. And nothing's been done since. They still have open access to the bathrooms, and they use it. Guys bathing themselves in there. And that's hard to believe. That's just impossible to believe. And the superintendent is blathering about, well, they can't have a fence because, then there's no exit in case of an emergency. And that's total garbage. I could give you 10 schools off the top of my head I've been to that are completely fenced in or walled in with security gates and all the rest. So that's a load of poo. Let's get David Sosa. He is a parent at Pacific Drive Elementary. Maybe can give us some insight into this, how this could be.
Yeah, well, the parents are coming together to try to get something done about this, so we'll find out the depth of this problem, too. David, welcome to the John and Ken Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, we got a bad
what we're going to do is try to fix the connection. If it's a cell, we'll have Rick talk to David here for a minute, because right off the bat, we can't even understand him. But we did this story earlier. It was from Channel 4, and it seemed like administrators at the school were just kind of fumfering around, didn't it?
Don't they always? Aren't they always fumfering around? How many stories have we done where it's...
Well, first of all, get the homeless out of the park.
Yeah, that's all. They don't have a right to the park.
Well, someone just told me that good old State Senator Carol Liu, actually they sent an email, I have to read the bill, that she's proposing they leave the homeless alone in the parks.
Well, I doubt that's going to pass, but it still isn't law at the moment. And if this has been going on 6 years, you're running the city of Fullerton. The police are told, get them out. Send them to L.A. on the Garcetti Express, because Garcetti has a huge tolerance for Skid Row.
All right, let's see if we get David back.
David.
Yes, thanks for having me on, guys.
Okay, that's better. You sent us an email and said there's been several incidents where homeless men have tried to pull kids out of the restroom?
Well, not necessarily trying to pull the kids out of the restroom, but they have been inside of the restroom while kids are present during school hours. Most recent situation was yesterday, matter of fact. My daughter told me that there was a lady got kicked out of the girls' restroom twice within 1 hour. At no time was a police call or parents notified or a school placed on lockdown since there was an unauthorized adult on campus.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously they have to get inside the school to get inside the restroom, right?
Actually, the whole front of the school is not fenced in. The school is along a major street. To the right of the school, there's a park where all the homeless hang out at.
But how do they get through the front door and down the hallway? I mean, most of the homeless are mentally ill with drug and alcohol problems and a lot of unpredictable behavior. If this has been going on for years, there must have been plenty of adults at the school who've seen these people stumbling around.
Right. Well, the restrooms are actually located right in front of the school, so it's very simple for someone to just walk out from the major street into the campus and into these restrooms.
Wait, the restrooms are on the outside? You access them from outside the building?
Correct. Yes, the restrooms are outside of the building. And when the teachers send these kids out, they're only allowed, each student is only allowed to go by themselves to the restroom.
By themselves? When you know there's creepy... I'm sorry, go ahead. I just can't believe this.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you're having kindergartners having to walk to the restroom by themselves. Kids with special needs, they walk to the restroom by themselves. And about 20 yards away, there's a park with homeless that have complete access to the campus.
Right, and there's no chance that some of these homeless guys might be pedophiles, right? That would be impossible. What?
Right.
What is these people who run this school in the school district? What's wrong with them?
yesterday when I spoke with the superintendent, he told me that if they were to put a full fence, it would create a bigger hazard for the kids in case they shooter split outside of the campus.
All right, we're going to have to... Hold on, Murray. David was on a good point, but we're going to... and by the way, when we talk about this, we're going to try to get a better cell reception. I don't know, he's walking around or what. The principal also said putting up like a full fence, he talked about a partial fence, would be a safety issue. Remember that?
No, this is the
safety issue, but I guess the idea...
issue.
Right, if there was a shooter on campus or something and the kids have to run, the fence would block some of their exit.
First of all, you shouldn't be sending out little kids to a bathroom outside the school building. So you reconstruct that.
Is that because, well, if they're outside for recess, then they can get to the bathroom from without...
You can have them. They serve a purpose, but you shouldn't be sending the little kids to those restrooms. They should be going to indoor restrooms.
Yeah, I would not be sending my kids to this school. If
the lack of judgment
got to be a big revolt.
Is preposterous. Homeless people are not cute. These are not cute, defenseless.
All right, we got a
landline want to hug. They're mental patients, most of them. David, you're back on the landline. So you were saying that the principal tried to explain what to you as to why they don't have a fence?
Oh, yeah, I do apologize. They were saying that in case a shooter stood in front of the campus and fired towards the school, kids that are trying to run to the back of the school would be easy targets for the shooter.
Most schools that I know have fences and gates and walls, right. And it's completely in circles so that nobody can get on the campus. That's how you handle a possible shooter, is you make it very difficult for him to get into the school, not have a wide open entrance so that the children can run out. By then it's too late.
And correct. I mean, just alone in the district, there's at least 5 schools that are completely fenced in. It's quite appalling that Pacific Drive has not been fenced in. The Fullerton Armory is 0.3 miles away from the school.
What is that?
The Fullerton Armory, the National Guard, and in the winter they bus in the homeless from out of town into the armory, and they provide a shelter for them. And during the day, they're released out back into the street.
Oh, that's outrageous.
And they go hang out at the park right next to the school.
So then you have to build a fence. Why do they send the kids to those restrooms? There's got to be other restrooms inside the building.
No, I mean, the school it's not an enclosed school. The only restrooms are on the outside of the school.
There's no restrooms in a hallway with a roof?
Well, I mean, but that's not gated either. That's, if you walk out from the main street, you have easy access to those restrooms.
No security guard?
Nope.
Are they nuts?
If they're worried about kids needing an escape route, why wouldn't they have a security guard, again, to provide some interference if a bad guy does show up?
And there is actually a fence between the park and the school, but if you walk 50 yards down, you're at the front of the school where you have complete access. And the funny part is, this morning, my brother sent me a picture of the fence that separates the park and the school. There's actually a gate, and that gate was open, so it made it even easier, for anybody to go on campus.
There's like about a dozen things we've already gone through that make no sense. I mean, it looks like the administrators here are just flat out stupid and reckless, and need to really. This is the way they think they ought to be removed from their position. I mean, that's preposterous. Why haven't the parents started a big ruckus over this and said, enough of your silly excuses, get this done, fix it now?
Well, the thing is that most of these incidents that do occur get brushed under the carpet. The only reason that we're finding out about these situations is the parents are finally starting to talk amongst each other and realize what's happening at the school. And like I said, that's one of the reasons they have not been listening to our request to put a full fence along. And we kind of had to get the media involved now, so they, so we hear our voice will be heard.
You know what? The parents at Pacific Drive Elementary should decide that, let's say, give them 24 hours notice and say, you know what, on Friday, everybody's staying home until you fix this. Man, it ought to be a strike. That's all. That's the power. Public schools get paid based on attendance.
Everybody ought to stay home and say, this is unsafe. This is not. This is stopping today.
Great, man.
And all they have to do is call to start. The first step is they hire some security guards to watch the kids as they're going in and out of the bathroom, and then move from there.
Great, man. No, that's definitely a great idea. And here's the kicker: if they build a partial fence, the classrooms that would be exposed, not protected by the fence, would be classrooms that they're planning to move the kids with special needs and the kindergartners.
There's no such thing as a partial fence. All right, David, partial fence is not a fence.
Thank you for coming on the air and shedding more on this story.
It's like the partial fence we have at the border.
Thanks for talking to us.
All right.
We just got a guy. It's David Sosa. He's a parent at a school in Fullerton. It's called Pacific Drive Elementary.
What is that guy's name, that superintendent in Fullerton?
Yeah, I lost it.
Pleckett.
That was a weird name. It was something like that. I mean, think about this. If homeless people were using your children's bathroom at home, what would you do about it? Well, they're using a bathroom in a school that kids use.
Well,
you would do everything you could to stop that, but it seems like administrators at the school are like, well, you know...
What if a shooter comes?
Yeah, we're worried about a shooter, so we can't build a more secure fence. Right? But we're not letting this story go either.
But we don't have a security guard, right? We don't have a security guard. Oh, my God, are they stupid.
Coming up next, find out why L.A. City Councilman said the following, and his name is Gil Cedillo. John, you ready? This is perhaps the greatest shift of wealth in the history of Los Angeles. What do you think that is? Coming up.
John and Ken Show and Shannon is News.
A man's been